Business development is a process. There's science to it, there's an art to it. But here's the thing. Too often, people get a bit caught into what I call haphazard ways of doing. They just do what kind of works. They've always done it that way. They don't really question it. And that really becomes very dangerous because we basically then are resting on our laurels and keep doing the same old, same old. But guess what? We know for a fact that if you're starting to look at it almost like clinically, the process typically consists of 8 steps that not all business development managers and sales professionals are equally good at. They might be good at 1 or 2 out of 8 steps, which means then that there's a lot of opportunity for continuous improvement. First one is planning. How do we spend our time? How do we plan to hit the numbers that we got to do? And how do we kind of start with the target and reverse engineer it back to key activities to take with also a certain number to it? Number of calls, number of visits, number of tours, number of demos, and so on and so forth. These are basics that you want to get right. So first of all, you've got to put your thinking cap on and plan ahead for success. Number 2 then is prospecting. Where are you going to spend your time and who with? Who are the type of people that are worth spending time with? And obviously you want to think big there, but you also want to be clear about how you are going to make the most of your time and spend that time then adequately. That's prospecting. So how much time are you going to be networking? How much time are you going to working through your database? How much time are you going to talk to existing people? And how much time are you going to be reaching out to new ones? It's all this sort of stuff. And it's not really a cookie cutter approach for every single business, because some of you guys have already leads pouring in. Some of you guys don't need any new business. And some of you guys have golden opportunities just right below your feet with the existing clients you already have. So it's not just a cookie cutter approach. You got to know how to invest your time, spend it wisely so that you work smarter, not harder. Third then is when you're getting in front of people, existing or new people, it doesn't matter. How good are you then at planting the first impression and make sure that it's a favorable one that is scoring brownie points, where people feel a certain way, they open up to you, they feel good in your presence, regardless of what style they might have, because you adapted to them, you didn't ask them to adapt to you. That is all very subtle, but makes a big difference in terms of opportunities that either open up or dry up. Then is your qualifying. Every single business has an opportunity to vet out the key questions to ask and make sure that you do ask them every single time and that you do them in a certain priority, from more general to more specific, from easy to answer to more thought-provoking and at times also challenging. And that is all about construing a process that is optimally designed for success. Then it continues on with, well, now that you learned about your client and your prospect, now you got to obviously mold that together into a value proposition that is going to move the needle for them, where they say, this makes perfect sense. This is what we need. This is actually what we've been waiting for such a long time and we couldn't find it, and thank God that you're bringing it to us today. That is basically your demonstrating value phase, which not everybody is equally good at. Then, of course, not everybody is going to go straight away and sign off on it. Some people will have to think about it, discuss it, sleep over it, and so on and so forth, and maybe do some research and do some number crunching, and that's all fine. And you can also know who those people will be. So you got to be ready for the next step then, which is how are you going to keep influencing people to make up their decision in favor of your solution. And then of course the last phase would then be helping people find confidence in taking on your solution. And from there onwards, once they do, you want to wow them, you want to add value to them, you want to make a big difference, and you want to grow your business with them. All of these phases here, guys, I wonder if you were to kind of assess yourself or your team on all of these steps, is it possible that some of those steps right now you're cutting short, not as good at, and therefore you're leaving money on the table? If that's the case, please reach out to us. We're here to help. We're in fact are helping people already in 12 countries to date with our business development accelerator, and this is just the start. If you'd like a confidential conversation, just reach out to me. I'm happy to have a chat and advise accordingly. My name is Bram.